Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Bitcoin. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Before we jump into the analysis, just want to say it is the last day for fantasy crypto entries. So if you haven't already, make sure you join the Discord, verify yourself, and then come down here, read the fantasy rules, and then look to participate. This is completely free and you can win up to $150. So make sure that you join the Discord if you haven't already. Links are in the description down below. Okay, so let's get into the charts and see what's going on. The first thing I want to go over here is the higher time frame ideas. So we're looking at two ideas here. So there is the bullish idea, in which case what we are looking for is effectively a retracement down into the support zone. Now, a common area we look for is between this 382 and this 786. The most common is between this 50% and the 786. But what we're looking for here is, even if we did move down to this 382, I'll just be watching this level, because if this is a corrective structure in a more complex structure, effectively this 50% and this 382, these two areas are quite a common target for this. So going to be keeping an eye out between this 28693 and this 27905 as a possible reaction zone. Now, if we were looking at this in this way, we'd be saying that this whole move is a bigger corrective structure here, where we're looking at this as A, B, and then C. Now, we can move this around a little bit and say that our A wave is here, this is our B wave, and we're looking for a C wave to the downside. If this is a C wave, however, what we'd be looking for typically would be a move into this zone here, this 29,399 to this 28,695. Now, the problem is that if this is a C wave, this move to the downside is already quite big. So I'm just on the lookout that if we do see something bigger here, where we get a bigger 5-wave structure towards this 26,931, though it wouldn't be as common, I would still be on the lookout that we could have something like this as a bigger A, B, and a C, where the C wave has just come down towards this 2.618 of the length of the wave A. So going to be on the lookout for that possibility. If we do start to break down here, this would align with coming back into our channel, also would align with coming back deeper into that bullish support zone that we were looking at, saying that we could potentially come back down towards this golden pocket area, which is this 27,139 to this 26,935. Now, invalidation of this bullish count comes by crossing this 24,800. So if we fail to hold this level, effectively we know that this is no longer the case, and we probably are looking more at this idea of our corrective structure, where we have this as a bigger W, an X, and a Y. One-to-one target is this 26,510, 0.618. Our minimum requirement is sitting here towards this 28,419. Now, the difference here is that if this actually completes into this high here, what we could actually start to form is this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, in which case our lower targets that we'd be looking for would be this 1-to-1, which would be looking for a running flat here. Alternatively, if this becomes an expanding flat, which is more common, we would be looking towards a zone of this 25,067 to this 23,373. So going to be keeping an eye on this on the bigger picture here if we do start to look to break down in a bigger way. Now, if we are looking at this current structure to the upside, what we were saying is, this could be A, B, C, but this could also be W, X, and A, B, and C for a Y wave. So we need to also just bear in mind that idea. What we were looking for was the idea of this as a zigzag to the downside, where we could argue that we had this as our A wave here, and we're looking for this B wave. This B wave could complete into this high here, but there is also still the potential here. If I come down into the hourly, we'll go over this effectively, that we could still be within this yellow structure here. Now, this yellow structure here could be looking to form an expanding flat. So this is why I'm just being cautious here that this move to the upside, we could argue, is just ABC, where this becomes a W wave, this is an X wave, another Y wave down here, and this is our corrective B wave, and we're looking for the C wave up. Now, we've already come up towards this 1-to-1 already, which is this 30k. If we start to fall away here and we start to lose this low of this 29,625, I will be looking out for that potential that we could see price come back down here towards this 29,225. Now, this brings us quite nicely into a typical B wave retracement for a flat correction. So we're going to be keeping an eye on this. If we just get this as ABC, then what we could actually see is a 5-wave move to the upside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looking to bring us back up into this typical zone that we look for as a rejection area, and we could actually look to sweep these highs over here. So on the lookout for this. If we do look to push up here, we could be looking at something like this, where we're still looking for that possibility of a C wave to the upside after a short-term push to the downside. Now, if we do see something like this, obviously this would then look to come back down here and sweep these lows once again. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this. If this breaks down past this 1618, which is sitting here at this 28,720, this whole move here is effectively more likely to evolve into a 5-wave structure. Though effectively, if we get 3 waves down to 1618, invalidation of that 4th wave is the low up here. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that idea if we do start to break down deeper here. Now, the other way we're talking about this move is that we were saying that this whole structure here could be W. This is an X wave, and then we're looking for a 3-wave move to the downside. Now, our 3-wave move to the downside, 1-to-1 target would be here at this 28,649 off of this current X wave high. Moving back above this would mean that we are still within a corrective structure here. So if we do move to the downside, what we'd then be looking for within this structure is effectively the same idea, ABC. So as long as we stay below this high here of this 30,417, and we fail to actually break back above this 30,234, the likelihood is that we're going to see continuation to the downside. Now, 1-to-1 would bring us quite nicely into this 29,300 area. So going to have to keep an eye on this, because if this is actually a W, an X, and a Y, this would actually do enough to complete the move. In which case, what this could mean is that we could start to see some upside coming out from this point. But because of that idea of the flat here, we'd only get confirmation that this is a breakout if we find support again with the wave 2, and then we see that continuation up again. If we just see a 5-wave move up here, we'd still need to be very cautious of it in this case, because this could mean that effectively we are still looking for that flat idea. Now, another way that we could look at this is that we could still be looking for this yellow C wave that we've got over here. So if this is the case, what we would then be saying is that within this structure here, we could have this as 1-2, this is a 1-2, we're looking to form another 1-2 here, and then eventually starting to form some 5-wave structure to the upside. Now, a common area for a push up in this way is this 30,935 to this 30,441. So as long as we continue to hold these lows, we do have potential for a break to the upside here, where we could still be looking for the C wave looking to play out. But the time relationship is starting to get quite large in comparison to this as an ABC. So it is already becoming less likely, in my opinion, that we're going to see this as a C wave up. If we do start to see a bigger 5-wave move up in this way, effectively I would be more inclined to think that what we have is something like this actually playing out, where we get this as an A wave, this is a B wave into this low here, and effectively now we're looking for a C wave, which could potentially come back up here and sweep these highs. So need to keep an eye out for this. As long as we continue to hold these lows here, the potential is there that we can be starting to build 1s and 2s, where this becomes 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 here, and then next thing we start to push to the upside in a 5-wave structure, looking to give us the necessary 1s and 2s to get us up into some of those higher levels. So going to be on the lookout for this. If we do look to maintain these lows, we can look to possibly break to the upside. The breakout count is effectively looking like this at the moment, where we'd be saying this is 1-2 here, and our 3rd wave we're looking for is up here towards this 30,682. The thing is, within this secondary count here, this would now be implying that we're going to see some additional extension here, where effectively what we could have here is this is a 1, this is a 2. Now, invalidation of this comes by crossing this 29,625, and if we start to lose 29,700, this already becomes less likely. Now, what we could have here is that this is already a wave 1. We're looking for a wave 2 here, and then looking for that continuation up. Given the current structure here, I would still be looking for a deeper retracement between this 29,844 to this 29,700 if this is the case. But it is possible sometimes we can get a really short wave 2 in these structures, in which case we could see this 3rd wave only come back down to where it is, But what we'd have to see then is, you know, for confirmation this is a third wave, a move up towards 30,470. Otherwise it becomes more likely we're going to see a bit of a deeper retracement, looking to fill some of these gaps left behind by these lower candles here, where we could see price come back down here into this green target box, where we look to hold this level and this low and then look for that continuation to the upside after this point. Now if we did come down to the 618 level, effectively our 1.618 would be here at this 30,339, and then what we'd be looking for would be proof of additional fourths to come here. So if we form a fourth and we hold above this wave 1 high, then effectively we can look for a fifth wave to the upside. If that completes, then we'd be looking for that additional idea of getting another fourth in the range of this previous fourth wave before getting another 5 wave move to the upside. If we see something like this actually starting to develop here, what this would actually mean is that this would be tying into the idea here that this is all looking to form this bigger third wave here, target being this 30,682. Now if we do start to see this extend out even more, this target can potentially be achieved and we could push up even higher. So we're going to be keeping an eye on this. The internals here are going to be very important as this move progresses, but as long as we continue to set these higher lows, there is that potential we could see price look to continue up. Now we could also just have this as W, X, A, B, and C. So we need to be careful of that idea that even if we do find support lower down here and we only get a push up towards this 30,117, this would still align with the idea that this could just be 1, 2, and then we look to break to the downside. So we're going to just discuss that idea of that that breakdown potential here. So as long as we actually stay below this invalidation point, which would be this 30,417, we need to just be careful that we don't have something like this, where this is 1, 2 already, and we have 1 and 2 here, looking for another 5 wave move to the downside. Now, this could just be, like we said previously, this could just be an A, a B, and a C, and we look to push down towards this 28,252 level. Or alternatively, if this starts to extend out, we could see a move down towards this 27K 59. If we do push down as deep as this, we would be looking for an additional fourth and a fifth, possibly looking to bring us back into this channel. So this is the bearish count here. If as long as we stay below this 30,417, this stays alive. But really, even if we do move up past this invalidation level, if we just get something like this, where we just get a 3-wave move to the upside here, we get ABC, we need to just still be cautious in this area of this 31,332. Invalidation of this completely is up here at this 31,804 level. So we need to get a push back above this to confirm that this structure down here is actually a C wave, and then we're looking for continuation up. Until we actually get that, we need to be very suspicious of any kind of a 3-wave move to the upside here, because this could actually indicate that we're still going to have that breakdown just at a later point, where we look at one of those more complex corrective structures to the upside developing before having this continuation down. Having a look at the daily CPR lines here, what we can see is that we're continuing to print these to the downside. We have, however, broken back above this. I will be watching to see whether we find support here again at this 29,813 to this 29,801. These are still very tightly spread, so these are indicating some volatility. If we do see price come back down here and hold this support zone, we could see price get gravitated back up towards this level here of this 29,985. We have this 30,173. We have this 30,362 and this higher level here of this 30,554. So this would align with that idea of seeing that push to the upside here, where we look for something like this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That would align with those targets for today to the upside. If, however, we start to lose this zone here, what we could potentially see is a move to the downside. Targets being here at this 29,613. We have this 29,436, 29,243, and this level here of this 29,056. Now, price can always look to move through these levels, so we always need to be aware of that. But these are just potential points in the market where we could see price look to pivot. Now, we still have the same idea here on the weekly. If we do see a move up into these central lines here, potentially we could look for resistance between this 30,850, 30,647, and this 30,434. So this would align with the idea of still having this as like a bigger B wave to the upside here before continuation down. So keeping an eye on that. Alternatively, for the remainder of this week, though there's not much time left, we do still have upside targets here of this 31,401 if we do start to see some excitement to the upside. Alternatively, if we do look to break to the downside here, we'll be keeping an eye on primarily this 29,492, and then we also have this lower level of this 28,735 as possible downside targets for the remainder of this week. Lower down here we also have the 27,581 if we do start to look to break down in a bigger way here. Now, as we were talking about in the previous video, monthly support is still potentially down below us. We have retested this level once again and it has held. If we do move back down here, still going to be looking at this 29,681 as a potential zone we could see price move into and look for support. If we start to lose that, we do have this 28,904 lower down here and this 28,108 as potential downside targets for the rest of this month, as well as that to the downside here we have this 26,387. If we do start to see price look to push to the upside here, what we could see is price could get gravitated towards this 32,991. We have this higher level here, this 35,533, and this higher zone here of this 39,650 as possible targets for the rest of this month. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.